Hey, hotties. What's poppin'? Today we're going to talk about social media and how I'm feeling about it right now. I think social media can be used as a tool, or you can abuse it. Just like anything, too much of it is probably not a good thing. It's all about perspective and how you see things and how you see the world. Something that I've heard a lot online is social media is not real life. And I think you can see it both ways. You know, a lot of people show the highlights, and you could see that so many ways because it depends on what you're sharing if you are sharing on social media, you know, because say this, for example, I'm sharing a podcast. I'm not really getting too personal or sharing a lot of just personal details about my life, but it's more of just these deeper topics and not necessarily the highlights, because I am being vulnerable. I am talking about the things that aren't easy to talk about, each to their own. Because I think, you know, where you go wrong is when you do what doesn't feel right to you and you try to be someone else and do what you think you should do, not what you want to do. And no matter what you hear, no matter what anyone tells you, you know what's going to work for you, and you have the best idea of that. Over the years, I've just gotten more and more a little tired of social media and just devices and the internet and these digital things in general. Again, at the same time, I'm deeply grateful and I appreciate them. And we're going to talk about the other side in a second, but you know, especially with short form content, it's low-hanging fruit. Not that you can't learn something, but is it worth it? Is it worth sitting there just consuming and scrolling for how long? You know, personally, I'd rather read a book or talk to someone, maybe about those topics. Social media can change your life in a very positive way. But when you look at it like you can learn from anything, you can learn a lot from yourself. And so what do you choose? And I think a lot of people feel this way about social media because it's become something else over the years, you know? And it's like whenever you open these apps, it's a sort of energy that I think a lot of people are tired of, where it's like, boom, like people being really loud, and not that being loud's, I can be loud. It's not being loud. It's being loud as in, hey, look at this. Look, scratch the words, right? It's the tone. It's the energy you're carrying. And that is felt a lot of the time. I feel like just people yelling left and right. It's just lack of real. Again, I'm not saying you can't learn from them and whatever, but it's become something else. And I'm recording this right off the bat. I kind of like recording my initial, I don't like to plan too much because I like to see what comes through. So, you know, maybe I'll have other words to add later. And when things are too planned, it never feels right. I don't disagree with planning. Planning can be so important depending on what you're doing. But moving on, social media is not real life, right? Yeah, because some people show, if you're someone who's sharing a lot of personal things and daily things and the selfie vibe and stuff like that, I could see where someone like that could fall into that category, like only showing the highlights, showing the best parts of your life. But what if you have a podcast? What if you're a musician? What if you're a comedian? And what you're sharing online is just focused on that, or just focused on your business selling this product and that. Are you showing the highlights, or are you just, sharing your passion, sharing your brand? And again, who's going to want to share all the negative? It's understood. Like, who's going to want to share like the worst parts of their life and put that online? I think it's important, if you are sharing highlights, to share some of the challenging times, because that's just being real. It's just being real. And why not? Why not? Life is a flash. Why care so much? Because I think if you carefully curate and care so much about that, in a way can feel forced, or that can feel inauthentic. And I think that's why we've come to this point, and why a lot of people do resonate with just feeling distant from social media, or maybe they're consumed by it and are living through people rather than experiencing life for themselves. Because that's easy, that's comfortable. It can inspire you. It can inspire you. It can motivate you. It can change your life in great ways. The way that I eat, the way that I'm so healthy, is because of this beautiful information, this truth that I came across online. And one of the best decisions I've ever made, being vegan. Labels. Anyway, I'll end with this. Social media is real life. These are real people you're connecting with. And when you use it as a tool, you really see the beauty that can come from this, and not sort of a toxic environment that you can get wrapped up in if you aren't mindful of how you're using it and maybe what you're consuming. There's two sides to it all. You could see this both ways. And really, I think it's on you, because I don't think the internet's going anywhere. And if it's not for you, you have to honor that. You have to honor that. And I think overall, a lot of us do need to get back to our roots. We do need to be in nature more. We do need to connect more with real people in real life versus being online so much. Because a lot of us are online so much. A lot of the way the world operates is digitally, and things can change and things will change. And maybe it looks a certain way for you right now, and maybe later it won't look that way. Maybe it'll always look the same way. But there is so much beauty here. There's so much beauty here. I heard someone say the other day, thank God for the internet. Mm-hmm. And when you see the impact that it can have, when you see the positive change that it can have, you see beyond these inconveniences or, negative aspects of something like this. At the end of the day, do you unapologetically. That's it, Hatties. Peace and love.